hook, and emotional entry. Have you ever stopped to think about the flag waving above your home, above your school, above your town hall? The red, white, and blue banner that seems so familiar, yet behind its fabric lies a story of dreams, doubts, and relentless human hope. This is not just cloth sewn together. This is the heartbeat of a nation, stitched with courage, fear, and countless untold whispers of those who dared to dream of a new America. Imagine a quiet morning in Philadelphia, the year 1776. Streets are empty except for the early risers, carrying baskets of bread and letters, the smell of fresh coffee drifting through wooden doorways. Somewhere, a group of men gathers around a table. Papers, sketches, and fabric samples litter the surface. They argue softly, carefully, almost like they're afraid their words might disturb the fragile hope hovering in the room. Should the stars be arranged like this? Or that? One asks, tracing a shaky hand over a crude sketch. Another shakes his head, silently wrestling with doubt. Each choice they make carries the weight of a dream, the dream of freedom, the dream of a symbol that could unite hundreds of thousands of people who had never met, yet all hoped for the same thing, a nation built on courage, hope, and justice. Listen closely to the hum of the streets outside, the scrape of quills on parchment. Every small sound echoes the larger heartbeat of a people trying to create something enduring. Imagine the soft whispers of wives and daughters, sewing quietly by candlelight, trying to make perfect the imperfect, their hands trembling with both fear and hope. Each stitch is more than thread. Think of those early dreamers. Every day, they faced uncertainty. Every night, they wrestled with fear. What if this symbol fails? What if history remembers the flag not as a banner of hope, but as a failure? Yet they continued. Because hope, once lit, refuses to go out easily. And it is in their silent courage, their human struggle, that the story of the American flag truly begins. Early designs and conflicts. As the sun rises higher over Philadelphia, the group around the wooden table grows more tense. The room is filled with the scent of ink, parchment, and the faint odor of pressed cloth. Every paper spread before them carries a possibility, every sketch a vision that could become the face of a nation. There were so many ideas. Some suggested 13 stripes, one for each colony, but in what order? Others argued about stars. How many should there be? How should they be arranged? Diagonal? Circular? In rows? Each choice felt monumental. Because this was not merely design, it was identity. Every line drawn represented the hopes of thousands, perhaps millions, who believed in a new, free America. One man, perhaps older than the rest, furrows his brow. He remembers the blood spilled, the families torn apart, and he wonders, will a piece of cloth ever truly represent the sacrifices made? A younger member, filled with fervor, insists that bold colors are essential. Red for courage, he says, voice trembling with emotion. White for purity of our intent. Blue for the vigilance we owe to each other. Yet, even here, conflict arises. Another voice counters softly, almost pleadingly, do we risk too much? Will these symbols unite or divide? What if our people cannot understand their meaning? Each objection is valid, each proposal carries weight. And as they debate, a quiet tension fills the room. The flag, though not yet sewn, already carries the weight of a nation's soul. Meanwhile, outside, ordinary citizens pass unaware of these debates, yet their daily struggles mirror the discussions within. Farmers rise before dawn, carrying heavy loads. Mothers soothe crying children, praying that the future will be brighter. Each of these lives, unseen yet crucial, is part of the tapestry of what the flag is meant to represent. Small mistakes are made, stars placed too close together, stripes uneven, but each error is a lesson. Each correction is a quiet victory. And slowly, through patience, compromise, and perseverance, the abstract ideas in their minds begin to take form. Take a moment to imagine the soft scratch of quills, the careful measurement of fabric, the anxious glances exchanged across the table. The human element is undeniable. The flag is not just a symbol. It is the embodiment of hope, doubt, and unwavering determination. And so, as this first phase of creation unfolds, we begin to understand a fundamental truth. The American flag, as familiar as it may seem today, was born not from simplicity, but from conflict, conversation, and the shared humanity of those who dared to dream. Emotional stories of revolutionaries. The dawn light spills over the cobblestone streets of Philadelphia, illuminating a city buzzing quietly with anticipation and fear. Beyond the debate tables and sketches, there are men and women whose lives will be directly touched by the symbol they are creating, a cloth that will wave not just above buildings, but over hearts and hopes. Imagine a young soldier, barely 18, gripping a musket as he watches the horizon. His uniform is worn, his shoes dusted with the morning dirt of long marches. But in his hands, carefully folded, is a piece of fabric, one of the first flags being stitched by volunteers in the city. Every thread is a reminder of what he fights for: freedom, community, family. Each stripe and star carries his silent prayers that this war will end, and that a better America will rise from the ashes. In a nearby house, a mother carefully sews another flag, her hands trembling not from fear, but from the weight of responsibility. Her husband marches off to battle each day, and she thinks of their children, wondering if they will live to see the peace they dream of. As the needle pierces the cloth, she whispers quietly, almost like a mantra, "May this flag be strong enough to hold our hope, strong enough to hold our story." Then there is the story of a veteran, older now, who had fought in earlier skirmishes. He watches the young soldiers training in the yard and remembers the days when they had no banner to rally behind, no flag to inspire courage or remind them why they stood their ground. When he finally sees the stitched fabric fluttering in the morning breeze, tears fill his eyes. It is not just cloth, it is a beacon of resilience, of humanity, of the countless small sacrifices no one will ever record in history books. Every anecdote, every quiet struggle adds depth to the symbol. The flag is no longer an abstract idea. It is intertwined with human lives, with emotional landscapes of fear, hope, bravery, and love. Children who catch glimpses of it in schoolyards learn a silent lesson, that a symbol is only as meaningful as the people who pour their hearts into it. And as night falls, the candlelight in homes and workshops flickers over tiny stars and stripes. Soldiers, mothers, and dreamers alike pause to reflect. Each of them feels, in their own way, the quiet power of this emblem. It is a slow human process, one that cannot be rushed. And it is through these deeply personal stories that the American flag begins to live, not just in fabric, but in the hearts of those who call this new nation home. The Symbolism Deep Dive. Close your eyes for a moment and picture the American flag, gently swaying in a morning breeze. 13 stripes, 50 stars, red, white, and blue, so familiar, yet each element carries a depth that many often overlook. This is not just fabric. Every line, every color is imbued with meaning and emotional weight. Red, the most striking of colors, represents courage. But more than that, it embodies sacrifice and struggle. Think of the soldiers marching into battles with hearts pounding, knowing the risks, knowing some would never return home. Every red stripe is a silent tribute to them. It whispers of bravery and fear mingled together, a reminder that courage is often quiet, not loud. White, pure and luminous, signifies integrity and hope. In the candlelit rooms where women sewed early flags, it reflected their dreams for a nation free of tyranny. Every stitch was an act of faith, faith in ideals bigger than themselves, faith in a future not yet written. White is the quiet light that guides those lost in the shadows of doubt. Blue, deep and unwavering, is vigilance and justice. Picture the horizon stretching beyond the battlefields, the nights when leaders stayed awake writing letters, negotiating, dreaming. Blue is the calm in chaos, the steady hand that reminds the fledgling nation to stay true to its values. Then there are the stars. Each one represents a state, yes, but also a community, a family, a story. Every star is a heartbeat of hope, a beacon for those who look up and say, "We belong to something larger than ourselves." The stripes, 13 in total, are more than the original colonies. They are threads of unity, each one connecting different people, different struggles, different dreams. Each stripe tells the story of compromise, debate, and collaboration, reminding us that a nation's foundation is built not on agreement alone, but on shared persistence through disagreement. Consider for a moment a child seeing this flag for the first time in a small-town schoolyard. Perhaps they do not yet understand battles, legislation, or political struggle, but they feel something: pride, curiosity, awe. This emotional connection is precisely why the flag endures. It is not just history, it is the living pulse of human experience, struggle, hope, resilience, and unity. And in reflecting on this, we begin to see the profound lesson the flag offers us even today, that symbols are powerful not because they exist, but because people breathe life into them with courage, love, and determination. Controversies and modifications. As the flag slowly took shape, not everyone agreed on what it should look like. Within the committees and workshops, there were whispers of doubt, murmurs of concern, and even heated debates. This was more than a design choice, it was a reflection of a nation in its infancy, struggling to define itself. One group wanted stars arranged in a circle, symbolizing equality among the colonies. Another argued for straight rows, representing order and strength. Some felt 13 stripes were enough, while others worried about future expansion. Each voice carried weight, each opinion rooted in deep personal conviction. Imagine sitting in that small room, the sun filtering through dusty windows, as one man carefully traces a star on paper. He hesitates. Will this shape inspire hope? Or will it confuse the people? His colleague leans over, sighing. It must speak to everyone, yet no one can truly agree what that means. And so, disagreements continued. Conflict was not limited to days into weeks. The flag was a political symbol as well. Some feared that certain colors or patterns would alienate supporters, or even be misunderstood by foreign nations. In small towns, letters poured in, asking why the stars were not arranged differently, why the stripes were positioned a certain way. Each letter, each comment, became part of the story, a reminder that a symbol carries both intention and interpretation. Yet, despite the debates, the creators pressed on. Every modification was thoughtful, every change deliberate. They measured, folded, and refolded the fabric, balancing aesthetic with meaning. Slowly, a consensus emerged, built not just from logic, but from shared human perseverance and compromise. And consider the people who would carry the flag into battle: soldiers, volunteers, and ordinary citizens. They might never know the intricacies of design debates, but they would feel the flag's power as it rallied courage, inspired hope, and held together communities torn by conflict. The modifications, the disagreements, the arguments, they were all invisible threads, weaving resilience and unity into the final piece. Even today, when we look at the stars and stripes, we see more than geometry. We see the human struggle to define identity, to compromise without losing integrity, and to honor every voice in the birth of a nation. The flag in everyday life. Beyond the battlefields and committee rooms, the flag began to appear in the lives of ordinary Americans. It fluttered above town halls, hung from windows, and quietly watched over schoolyards. But it was never just decoration, it was a living symbol of hope, unity, and resilience. Picture a small town in New England. A family wakes to see the new flag waving outside their home. The father pauses his morning work, the mother watches from the kitchen window, and children, still rubbing sleep from their eyes, gaze up in wonder. Without fully understanding history or politics, they feel a connection, a sense that they are part of something bigger, something enduring. In another home, a veteran who had once carried a tattered banner in battle now folds a new flag with trembling hands. Each fold is a meditation on sacrifice and survival. The fabric carries memories of fallen friends, of victories hard-earned, of nights spent hoping the dawn would come. The flag is no longer just cloth, it is a repository of emotions, a quiet reminder of human courage and endurance. Even in schools, teachers use the flag as a tool for storytelling. Children learn not only the colors and stars, but the values they represented: courage, integrity, vigilance. Every pledge, every moment of attention, was a small act of emotional education, teaching young minds the weight of history through human experience. Meanwhile, communities came together during celebrations, parades, and quiet observances. Neighbors who disagreed on politics, religion, or culture found common ground under the flag's presence. Its stripes and stars became threads weaving together the complex tapestry of everyday life, reminding people that despite differences, shared hope and shared humanity bind a nation. Even simple gestures, raising the flag in the morning, lowering it at dusk, took on profound meaning. These were acts of reflection, gratitude, and remembrance. Ordinary Americans learned that the flag was more than a symbol of government or ideology. It was a mirror of their collective heart, a silent storyteller of dreams, struggles, and courage. And as night falls over the towns and cities, imagine candlelight glinting off the stars, children sleeping under windows where the flag waves gently. Every flutter is a whisper, reminding them that the sacrifices of yesterday live on in the quiet, ordinary moments of today. The flag has become alive in human hearts, not just in history books. Modern reflection and emotional punch. Now, as we step into the present, imagine standing before the flag in a quiet morning breeze. It still waves over city streets, schoolyards, and small towns, carrying the same threads of hope, courage, and human struggle that were woven centuries ago. The American flag is no longer just a banner. It is a living symbol of human perseverance and shared dreams. Each color, each stripe, each star reminds us that a nation is built not only through laws and battles, but through the silent, persistent efforts of ordinary people. Mothers, fathers, soldiers, teachers, and children all contribute to the story it tells. Think of the moments it inspires today: a soldier saluting at dawn, a child reciting the Pledge of Allegiance in a classroom, a community coming together during parades or memorials. Every gesture echoes the countless untold sacrifices and hopes of those who came before. It reminds us that history is not merely in books, but alive in human hearts. And in this reflection lies the emotional punch. The flag is more than fabric. It is a witness, a storyteller, a keeper of dreams and resilience. It is a reminder that even amid disagreement, fear, or uncertainty, hope endures, courage persists, and unity can prevail. So, when you look up at the flag today, see it not just as red, white, and blue, but as a living testament to the human spirit, the struggles and triumphs of generations, and the shared journey that continues in every one of us.